This month on EdTech, wrong show. Hey, welcome to the Higher Ed AV podcast. My name is Joe Way. I'm your host, and boy, do we have a good one for you today. We have a packed house today. It is a packed house because we are continuing. This is now week 3 of the Pre-ISE 2026 warm-up episodes, just getting us all hyped. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode with Byron and then Alethea. See, I can say it right. So it's Barcelona and Alethea. See, all right, there you go. You know that you can speak good Catalan when you get the C's become THs. And now we're here with the HETMA crew that is heading out there, I think in totals with some booth assistants, and that's booth assistants is a nice way of saying our plus ones. I think we're going to have just about 20 people from the HETMA board and chairs and all and volunteers heading out because we have quite the packed week. For those you kind of remember, we started this, 5-6 years ago, going out with the quote unquote influencers lounge, being there and helping out ISE and reporting. And now we are really, I don't know what we were smoking that day. We have 2 booths and other stuff. But you know, we have no idea what we're doing. No, actually we're going big. We're going bigger than always because, well, that's what we do. We don't know how to not go bigger than ever. So we have a packed house today. We have Chris, Dustin, BC, Troy, Teddy, Atkins, and Aaron with us. I'm going to do this really quick because we have 7 guests. It will take the entire show for people to really introduce themselves, but really quick. I'm going to go through just in the order that's on my screen. Yes, you can watch this on YouTube as well as listening. I'm going to go through each one and just have you all kind of tell everyone who you are, kind of what you do in life and your role with HETMA, but also then kind of what you are looking forward to in this year's ISE. So I'm going to start with the people who have been there the most. So BC, you're first up. Introduce yourself to people, who you are, what you do, and what are you looking forward to this year's ISE?
Thanks, Joe. My name is BC Hatchett. I'm the Director of Classroom Technology for Vanderbilt University and also the co-founder of this here fine organization called HETMA. Really looking forward to this year. I remember the first year that we went out there and did this. We just kind of did, I guess, old school guerrilla marketing, set up in the influencers lounge, and kind of just took the temperature of how we can become an impact and could impact the show and how we could continue to grow that higher ed presence in the AV industry, especially overseas. I think that's kind of what I'm most looking for this year is the first couple of years we did the InfoComm booth and seeing how we had the impact there, seeing how we can translate that to the international market, especially as we continue on our road to 10K.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. It's amazing to kind of see how we've moved this from being the people carrying all our stuff in a backpack, right? And it's like how many of the press lounge little lockers.
I think we had 3 lockers at one point that we used to just kind of stage our stuff in and hope for the best.
And now into booths. So absolutely, I love that. Next up then is the veteran Aaron. Please tell who you are, what you do, your role, and what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, so I am Erin Marmoran. By day, I'm the IT manager for classroom technology at Johns Hopkins University, and I'm also the chair of this fine organization, HETMA. And this year, I'm most looking forward to the addition of the EdTech Congress to our itinerary and having a small booth there. I think that is going to be, a little slightly different of an audience for us. So I think it has really exciting potential.
Yeah, and we are going to get to what that is. I think it's an awesome thing that ISE is doing. And you all got an opportunity to kind of hear from Alethea last week too, and kind of what the Congress is about. And I'm going to call it European EDUCAUSE. I mean, that's a horrible way of saying it, but that's what it is, right? And I'm really excited about that, and I think it's going to be a great mix. All right, next up, Troy as our next veteran.
So I lead the support team at Northwestern University, and I am the vice chair at HETMA. And I think I'm probably most looking forward to having a booth on, in the main hall this year. I think that's really exciting. Last year having the first booth out there, where the trade organizations go, you get a lot less foot traffic. It isn't quite the hustle and bustle that it is on the main hall. I think I'm looking forward to being out there.
Yeah, Tuesday is going to be crazy. We're right there. People open the doors, they walk through the main door, make a left, and boom, there we are. So it's going to be a crazy day, but it's going to be exciting being right there and right across from Connected Classroom, which we're going to get to talking about in a bit as well. So great, thank you. Next up, let's go Dustin as our next veteran.
Yeah, I am the manager of technology support at John A. Logan College, and I'm the 2-year at-large board member for HETMA. Thing that I'm looking forward to the most is actually having the 2 booths and making all the connections and really advancing our goal of our road to 10K.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And that is it. That is the theme too, road to 10K. I was having fun with AI this morning and some things. So, the marketing blast will be starting soon, and my annoying AI. It's going to be hard to top my Infocom AI though. That was a pretty good, one. So we'll see. All right, Teddy, you're up.
All right, I'm Teddy Murphy. I'm the AV systems engineer, and I lead the AV team at the University of Pikeville in Pikeville, Kentucky. And I'm the 1-year at-large with the HETMA Board of Directors. This will be my 2nd year getting to go to ISE. I'm most looking forward to, the networking opportunities. And like Dustin said, being able to grow the organization for our road to 10K. But as fun as it is to see all the new toys and all the exciting things, I feel like I get more out of the opportunity to meet and network people from all around the globe to be able to discuss, the problems that we have and see that a lot of us have very similar problems and start working together.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that one thing I love about the networking is it's all new people as well, too. A lot of new people and kind of that cultural difference, which is a fun thing about going to Europe, right? And having the different cultures and really just hearing. And the thing is we all have the same problems, right? We just deal with our problems in different languages. All right, next up, let's go Atkins. Here we go. Newbie to ISE this year.
Yeah, ISE newbie. So I'm Atkins Fleming. I'm the Assistant Director for Learning Spaces at Texas State University and the Treasurer for HETMA. This will be my first trip to ISE, which means the thing I'm looking forward to the most is seeing what ISE is all about. I've been to Infocom numerous times. I've heard a lot about ISE. I feel like in the past few years, I've seen more and more products that are out at Infocom that say announced at ISE. And I'm like, man, some people already saw this. So I'm just looking forward to being there, seeing how Europe does it and having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is one of the things that has kind of changed in our industry. And also, if you think about most vendors are in Q1, right? And so even though we think in higher ed, we think kind of a July to June cycle, but our manufacturers don't. So that's why a lot of stuff comes out at ISE so they can kick off strong, and get, they got to get the money in coming in quick. And so I'm looking forward to, we're going to talk to you throughout the show too and see what you end up thinking and especially seeing. And I've always said, great thing about ISE for higher ed, this is when we're thinking about our summer installs. This is where you can now actually see the stuff. Love Infocom. Infocom is one of my favorite shows, obviously, but it's in the middle of our cycle already, right? We're not going to Infocom, buying something, installing it. ISE gives you that opportunity. Chris, last but definitely not least, please tell people who you are, what you do, and what you're looking forward to as an ISE newbie.
Yeah, so Chris Kelly with Creighton University. I'm a senior IT support specialist, kind of helping take care of the classrooms in a variety of ways there. Like you said, first time to ISE, I'm the advisory board chair for HETMA, so helping get those going just about every week. And as far as ISE, it's a lot of things that I'm excited to see. I'm very excited just listening to your episode with Mr. Terry. I'm excited to see the next event that goes on, see what opportunities are coming AI-wise out of that and where that can go, but also just getting more in depth into the recording and sponsor benefit side of things, helping with the higher ed AV media in a lot of ways this trip, and just seeing what we can do for our sponsors and helping get those connections going with the EMEA folks.
Yeah, and I think we'll tell you, first off, this is going to be huge having you there, because we found out when we do all those interviews and we do, the show tour, we do all of this stuff. One of the things we learned early on was how hard it was because there's so much going on. So people don't realize what it takes to actually put this together, right? It's funny because I think when we first went, it was 3 of us, and then we went to 5, and now an entire crew just to make the week happen and curate it for those who are both at the show, but also those who can't go. I do want to stick with you, Chris and Atkins, for this first question, and that's ISE has kind of a stigma, and I don't know what the right word is, kind of this aura around it of being huge, and it is. Okay, when you walk in, it is double the size of Infocom, right? And just about, actually more than that, right? 75,000 versus 30,000. What in your mind are you expecting to walk into? How do you think you're going to be able to navigate this, as opposed to, and just going to say, and I think, we've gone through our things. You've seen the show floor map, 8 halls, right? An entire hall just for digital science, a whole hall just for audio, a whole hall just for EdTech, as opposed to Infocom, where everything kind of mushes together. So what are your thoughts on that and kind of where you're walking into this? And then we're going to compare it with after the show, how it is. Atkins, you up first.
It's hard to imagine something bigger than Infocom to me. I'm like, how can there be that many more companies out there? But I know there are, right? It's a huge market overseas. I think it'll be cool to see a bunch of names that I've never even heard of that might be big players in their areas, but just don't make it across the pond very often. So that'll be fun. But yeah, it's hard for me to even wrap my mind around. I also know, we're going to be very busy while we're there, and we have our own booth to man. So I'm not sure I even have a realistic goal to make it to all the halls. We'll see how far I get, but we'll be tied up quite a bit. So.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it was almost impossible to make all the halls. Okay, well, we'll make sure that you have some free time as well, but because it is worth going. There's something to be said about walking that hall. Chris, your thoughts there?
So with Infocom, similar to like an EDUCAUSE, I feel like I can go out and just wander. With something of this scope, I feel like I need to be very intentional. Like, this is the time that I'm doing the digital signage area. This is the time that I'm doing, and focus only on an individual hall, an area at any given time, instead of just the meandering about. And that way I can make sure that I've got a mental note down, like, oh, hey, yeah, this is the day that I was at that place, just to try and help keep track of it a little bit better. And like Atkins said, I hope to be able to get it to all of it, but I don't know that that's necessarily going to happen. But I also will be reaching out and taking, shots of sponsor booths and things like that. So I'll have very intentional purposes to get to some of the places.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things too, and when I get to everybody else, I think they'll agree. First off, the aha moment when you realize that there is a fast way everywhere. That's the second floor. Okay, the second you realize that one. Okay, but also it is probably, for being such a large show, it is the best convention center there is, because the way it's set up, a central hallway, boom, 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 down each way, and then the second aha, when you realize you can actually get through outside and jump from hall to hall, that's another way. So it's amazing, for being so big, you can actually get anywhere relatively quickly if you know where you're going. So, So the aha moment when you discover the second floor, it's almost like a little a hyper speed, just boom, there you go. All right. Now I want to go to Teddy and Dustin on this next question. And that's, okay, you've now been there once. What is the thing, because maybe some people are coming back, some listeners are going, okay, I've been there, or this is their first time going as well. What is the thing that you said, I wish I would have known, or now you're coming back now knowing, having been there, what are you going to do different this time, or how are you handling the show? Let me just ask 8 different questions here, just so that I get one that you could answer. What are you going to do different? What are you kind of taking away with it so that you show up at the show in a different way? Dustin, you first.
Well, I think the time management piece is key for the show. The first day everybody hits hall 1 and 2. They do it very, straight down the line. I think to maximize your time with the different booths and everything, hitting hall 8 and possibly working backwards is key. That way you're not running into the big mob of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I wish I would have learned and known last year that I know for this year.
Yeah. And because again, Hall 8's actually, you got to book it. Like you got to take the bridge over and all that stuff. And that's even where they have the esports and they're doing Avixa. I don't think Avixa TV's there this year. I think they're actually over in Hall 3 or outside of Hall 3 this year. But those things. So yeah, it's getting over there, some of the experiential things. Oh, they had the drone thing last year over there, something like that. Drone cage, if I remember right. So that's some fun stuff. And you're right, because Hall 2 and Hall 3 get really, really packed on day 1, right? Everybody comes in the main entrance. They get there and it's just a mob. Even like trying to walk by like the Sony and Samsung and Panasonic, like it's just, you can't even move, right? Everybody is there and packed in. So that's great. That's actually great advice. Start backwards and then let everybody else catch up, except you got to stop by booth 2W400 first, the HETMA booth. Okay. Teddy, same question to you. Same 8 questions to you.
Okay, first, if you thought you needed comfortable shoes at InfoComm, bring extra comfortable shoes for ISE for all the walking. I like Chris's mentality. That's very similar to how I was planning this year because I didn't do it last year. Pick my time and dedicate it to that specific hall. And also, if you can stay till Friday, while there won't be as many reps from the industry there, if you just want to see the booths, Friday is pretty relaxed, especially if you're trying to hit the busy halls like Hall 2 and 3. So Friday could be the best day to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Friday is the day. And again, just like InfoComm, the last day is where people are able to like kind of go out and social. That's why we're doing our happy hour on Friday. Allow people to kind of come around and just hang out. So now going off to, so Troy, Aaron, and BC, so our veterans here and all. Well, actually, it was brought up shoes. Troy, got to talk about the shoes.
Yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to jump in and just interrupt everybody when he started talking about shoes. We'll see how comfortable they are. Right, they're coming. They haven't gotten here yet, but we are rocking some custom HETMA shoes this year for ISE, so that'll be great.
Mine just shipped out of Shenzhen, China.
Nice.
So we'll likely just hope they get here in time. But no, they look pretty cool. So you designed some custom HETMA sneakers. So,
yeah, they're pretty awesome. They look like Air Force Ones. They're not Nikes. It's a completely custom shoe, but they're have the same shape as Air Force One. Yeah, and they're pretty loud. So I'm excited.
That's the only way we do it, loud and obnoxious. So but you can spot us anywhere. That's the whole thing. Our green can be seen from anywhere. But I do want to go to you now. Kind of similar questions that I just asked Dustin and Teddy. But in the as far as kind of attacking the show, now you're coming in and we're running a couple of booths. So just to give everybody, we are doing the EdTech Congress and we're doing the ISE show floor. I'll get into the details about that. But how are you attacking now a double booth presence? What does that mean for us as an organization and us being able to serve our people?
I don't know if I can jump in and just say that I think it means we need to be a lot more deliberate with what we do. I think, we do a lot of, like big planning, but we don't do a lot of like kind of that, micro planning, and that's what's going to be really important, just to keep everything together and make sure we have the right people where they need to be.
That was a nice way of saying, Joe, you need to be organized. And I don't do that. So that's why the rest of the crew is there to be organized. All right, Aaron, kind of the same questions to you. Your chair, you're running, you're the central focus of all this, running everything and being, what does it mean for us as an organization? And now I'm going to let you go into and explain obviously everyone just probably listened back. If you haven't heard Alicia's show, you kind of know about the EdTech Congress, but you're the one that already kind of teased you. That's the part you're looking forward to. So talk about that. Talk about what it means for HETMA to be involved with something like that.
Yeah, I mean, being kind of invited to these sorts of things really, I think it speaks to uh, the the kind of profile that we've created in the industry, and starting to broaden our horizons a little bit, so that we're not just AV. We're proving that, we can be a community for all the things that are ed tech. And so I think it's really exciting, and it'll be great to, we did EDUCAUSE this year kind of for the first time as an org, and now we're really going to make an even bigger splash at the EdTech Congress, having a booth there and getting to kind of, share the amazingness that is HETMA, and grow our community in that direction a little bit more. So
Yep.
it'll be great. But it's it this month's theme for HETMA is new year, same goals, but it's a lot of it is about like intentions and making sure that we are being very intentional and deliberate about what we're getting involved in, and making sure that we're putting kind of the final touches on all the things, like Troy was saying, how we get big, but then those littler things. So yeah, I think this is it, all the pieces and parts come together here.
Yeah, and I think that's, because again, I kind of tease it as EDUCAUSE for Europe, but I think that what's going to be interesting is this transitional year, and it was what we talked about on last week's show. So this year, the EdTech Congress is actually down in the city center, not as far as we thought. It's down over at the old FIRA, and then we have, which is why there's two booths. People are wondering, why do you have two booths? Because it's actually two different shows that are now combined, and so we have. So we're going to be serving over there, where they're going to be keynote speakers. They're bringing in people from all over Europe, leaders. The main keynote is the former Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Education is doing their keynote, bringing over. So, they're already looking at, hey, people are going to be looking at us and going, is that everything she's saying? Is that what you guys are doing? We're going to be podcasting from there. But then they have the leader of the European EU EdTech clusters, and so there's going to be some really big, I want to say, key players in the learning spaces and I don't know, world there. So it's going to be interesting. Like I think we're going to learn as well, right? Like it's going to be a new move, and I think Aaron, you kind of touched on it. This is also a move for HETMA to not be, what were the words you just said, not just AV, right? And we're kind of bridging that gap. And I think that's what we've seen even in our normal daily work, right? As AV people, we now sit in the ITs, sit in the teaching and learning centers. We're so integrated in our jobs. And that's kind of what this booth experience, I think, is going to be like for us too. Yes,
Yeah,
no, maybe so. Yes, perfect with that. I do want to go back really quick before I go to BC. I want to go back to Troy, because on the Sunday and Monday is the next conference. You got an opportunity to go to a next event in Chicago. So they're doing the 2-day summit. Again, everyone, go listen back to Byron's episode from 2 weeks ago. So talk about what you're looking forward to there. Tell people a little bit more about it for those who haven't listened to that episode yet.
So next is, it's a group that we've recently signed an MOU with. They're kind of based in that AI space. And like you said, I got to attend one of their events here in Chicago, and it's really interesting. They just brought some key, thought leaders from the industry and from their sponsors, who kind of went up there and just did talks, about, where they see AI going, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of them were from companies who have AI, deeply embedded in their products, but it wasn't a product pitch, right? It was really more about high level thoughts about where it's going, and really trying to, I think the whole point, and Byron kind of touched on this at the end to close it out, was to kind of get people thinking so that, you know, we don't know where it's going and we want to figure that out kind of together. And, you know, getting everybody together to kind of have these conversations gets the thoughts churning, and then, you know, you can kind of really come up with some, because AI there's so much potential, right? So I think that's kind of really what it's about. And I think, you know, this event it's kind of neat the way they're separating it into kind of more for leadership and then more for, you know, the everyday, you know, kind of person, because I think it's important, you know, that, you know, if we're going to be moving forward with AI, we've got to kind of have those high level kind of ethical, moral discussions, you know, at a leadership level. But then you want to kind of talk about the nuts and bolts, you know, on those kind of engineer technical technician side as well. So it really makes a lot of sense the way they're splitting it up.
Yeah, I do think that was really wise thing. It's almost like he took a playbook out of our education summit from Infocom. Crazy. But being able to say, okay, we're going to start with leaders, and knowing that everyone can make everything, but there's something for everyone, right? And people who want to workshop it, because I think in AI, we don't know how it really is going to impact us yet. You know, I think most people go, oh, what is AI? Oh, it's a trackable camera. No, a trackable camera has been around for 20 years. That's not AI, right? Just because you slap the name on it and doesn't mean that's it. So I think really, to be honest, no one is an expert and no one really knows how it's going to impact our industry yet. So to be able to have the first Sunday night session where we can all think tank, hear from great leaders. I hear there's an incredible keynote person speaking. I've heard a rumor about that. And then going into, you know, on Monday morning and being able to have all of the, oh, geez. Okay, I'm not reading the chat. Okay, I'm glad this does not get posted to everybody. All right, oh no, I send this through AI to get the meeting notes. I wonder if it's going to pull some of the what AI stands for. Don't get me canceled, Chris. No, just
as per usual. The comments, the chat is. That is the HETMA way.
It is. So we're pre-virtual conferencing for end of February. I mean, we haven't even talked about virtual conference yet, but we'll get to that later. Actually, not this episode, a later episode. I don't even know where I was going now. Okay. Oh, yes. Then you got Monday morning with being able to have some leaders and some engineers, and then Monday afternoon workshopping and coming away with something tangible, like almost a hackathon. Will people even, you know, can you create an app? Can you create something? And there's going to be some industry leaders and industry engineers from some of the top manufacturers there. And I think they're going to kind of pull back the books and kind of see and pull back the curtain and see what they can do. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, BC. I hate to say this, but okay. So, you know, at Infocom, we have a way, we do an education summit, we do show floor tours, we do happy hours, we have a booth. And it turns out at ISE, we're doing the version of EDUCAUSE. We're doing show floor tours. We're doing a happy hour. We've got 2 booths. You know, why not? And the summit. It seemed like there's a lot of parallels going on. So if, you know, let's say someone is coming and they're higher ed, you know, one of the things I think that I'm going to just answer the question for you. So it's
Go for it. That's my favorite kind of question.
But I think one of the things that we always say about Infocom is how we like to curate. The only thing we're missing is an award ceremony, right? But, you know, hey, here we go. But we curate the week for a higher ed person, right? To come in and go, here's your flag. We have stuff for you. We have your people. And we're kind of moving that way to ISE. That being said, one thing we've learned over the last 5 years, Europe is a very different market. It's a very different community. It's very cliquey. How do you think that what we're doing now is going to be able to help with that and help bring the community together?
I think it's a similar approach to what we've done over in the States. Like you were talking about how each, you know, they're a little cliquey. I mean, it's I appreciate a good click every now and again. But I think what they need is kind of like what we've done over here is just like a flag to rally around, right? Like a central organization to kind of pull everybody together. I mean, we're you know, as of right now, still mostly U.S. based, so we have a little bit of, I guess, of a neutral profile over there. So it's a good spot to be in, where folks that we don't have any agenda, we don't have any, you know, competition there. We just want to see the industry grow and progress, and I think that we're the good neutral party to make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you just put on something is we don't have the competition. I think one thing that I love about us is we're able to go and we're able to support everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like, and the same thing, like is it the Tuesday night? I don't know if I have my date. I believe it's Tuesday night, LTS&G and Scoms do their, their Irish bar thing. And have that. We're gonna be able to go. We're gonna sponsor. We're gonna tell our people, go hang out with your people, right? If you want to get in, the EdTech people that are gonna come to ISE, it's gonna be a whole new experience, right? Like when you walk in the first, I think we all remember we first walk into ISE and you see the big old video board there and you see the ribbon. You just get lost in it, right? Yeah. And it's like that can be very overwhelming. So now to say, hey, instructional designers who are coming over to this big show, we're going to be able to give you this show floor tour, right? We're going to have a little happy. We're going to give you a little bit of, Estrella and grab a cup and walk.
Yeah, essentially just start your day over at 2W400. Like that's where you start, and then you can branch out from there. We'll point you in the right direction for where you need to go.
Yep. Yeah, and of course we'll do our map again. By the way, we got to get that done. And get our map again. Here's the places to go visit. Here's the people to talk to. Right, because that is the one thing I want to say. I mean, with thousands of booths, I remember when I talked to Mike Blackman this last year. It was like last year he gave the random fact that if you to actually visit every booth at ISE, you'd have to spend only 17 seconds at each one. Like, so it's technically impossible to go see the entire show, right? And so to be able to say, you know what, we're going to curate it for you. Let us take that on. Here's the things you can do. Here's events to go to. Here's places to go. And if you're only interested, you're there looking for projectors, great. We'll point you in this person. We'll talk who to talk to. If you're only there looking for some audio things, this is where you go, and here's who you need to talk to. So we can help with that, because I remember going for the first time and just being so overwhelmed. This was back when it was in the Rye in Amsterdam, which is a horrible venue, and getting lost in, and you don't even know where to go, right? And especially you're there alone, and that's where I think our kind of secret sauce is that no higher ed person should ever feel alone at a show like this, whether it be Infocom, ISE, and hopefully we're doing our part with that. So thank you for letting me answer the question that I asked you.
You're really welcome, Joe. Thank you.
All right, so let's get to how it all opens. Well, first off, some of it, Aaron, I'm muted. What are you going to say?
I'm good.
Well, well, that's like when you're on a Zoom call at work, right? And someone unmute, and you're like, okay, what are they going to say, right? And then you just hope it's someone who's not challenging something you said, because I could be wrong already, right? All right, so I'm going to really quickly, before I get into questions, I'm going to run through. First off, where's my little banner? So you can go, my cool little banner. There you go, higheredav.com/ISE 2026. Some of us are arriving on Friday to do some errands around town, because one thing we did learn, just have your swag made in Barcelona. You don't need to make it at home and bring it with you. So we're some of us arriving then. Saturday, it's become an Infocom tradition, I think, and now it's going to become an ISE tradition to do a social event. So people are coming in town early. This is what since no one asked me, let me tell you what I'm looking forward to. I'm playing golf at Camarillo, where the Ryder Cup is going to be there in a few years. So this is like bucket list stuff. And then some are going to go with a spa day at the resort too. So I'm playing some golf to this, but it's beyond. It's not just, hey, let's go out and let's fly across the country to play golf. It's about bringing our community together. And I think that's the thing. So a couple of people on this call have been on, I'm going to call it the road trip to the hole in the ground. All right. It's a big old, the Infocom hole in the ground road trip. So Aaron, since I'm going to put you on it, community is one of the things we talk about. Community. Why is it important that we kick off a week with something where, and again, this is open to everyone. If there's limited spots, because we have a party bus going up there, but people who, if you're in town early, reach out. We're going to get you on the bus with us. But what does it mean first, because we do a DJ at Infocom, right? We do these things. What does community mean, and the value of that, rather beyond just the technology?
Yeah, I mean, it's about helping create the experience and making sure that nobody feels like they're left out or alone, unless you want to be, because that's I mean, AV is we're a bunch of, some people are introverts and want to do that. But if you aren't like that, if you are the type that want to be around people, like, we can be those people for you and help kind of like kick off a fantastic week, doing all the things.
Yep. And I think it just makes the perfect, kind of beginning and end, right? Saturday, we've got that. But then on Friday, the higher ed only team party dinner, right? Secret place, which we're going to a great secret place this year. So if you're around Friday night and you are in higher ed, it's close to higher ed people only, let us know. We do a great little team dinner at the end of the show on Friday. So again, closing out meal and break bread with our people. Then we go Monday and Tuesday, so Sunday and Monday. So that was only Saturday. Sunday and Monday, a couple of things going on. That is the next event, and booth setup. Okay, so we've got to set up 2 booths in 2 days while also running and assisting with another event, because why not? Dustin, Teddy, one of the things, so we learned last year, one, that you can hijack hijack push carts to go move stuff all over. What is talk about the booth, Teddy, Dustin, tell people about the booth experience, what they can expect at each one. Dustin, you're unmuted. You're first.
Oh, I was going to let Teddy go first. I talked first last time. So.
Well, you both gave me a stare. Okay.
Okay.
Let me
I'll go ahead.
We're doing booths in case you didn't know yet. Okay. Teddy, you're up.
So, what can you expect? I mean, of course, there will always be people at each booth during the duration. We can answer questions. We can have networking opportunities. We can point you in the right directions where you need to go. I'll be honest, some of the planning for what's happening over at the EdTech Congress, I have been pretty slammed at work and missed a little bit of the planning about the booth.
Okay, then stop talking.
over
Justin,
there.
now to you. That's not good. The content people come for is not to hear, I don't know. Okay?
Hey, I'm honest.
Yeah,
You all should know that.
Let me just throw out real quick that there will be maybe a keg at the ISE booth.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know the ISE booth.
That is correct.
Wants a drink at any time during the day, maybe come by and see us.
Yep. And the best thing about Europe, they start early. Well, they don't start early. They start late, but they drink drinking early. It's not like InfoComm where it has to start at a certain time. Let's put it that way. It can be 24/7 at the ISE booth.
Well, and the fact that the show floor does start later than InfoComm. So you have a little more time for recovery from your nights before you start visiting the booths.
10 a.m. to 6 p.m. All right, is the show floor hours, which is very different. Though the EdTech Congress, I think, is 9 to 6 and then 9 to 3, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so we're doing. Okay, Dustin, now you.
Okay.
Hopefully you can give me an answer.
No, we're going to have a lot of podcasting going on, both at the EdTech Congress and
that's
ISE.
The kind of answer you're supposed to have, Teddy. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we also may be streaming the ISE at EdTech and the EdTech Congress at ISE, doing a little bi-directional streaming of both events, so people don't have to miss out.
Yep. Thank you. You're welcome back to the show at some time in the future. No, I think that's the whole point, right? So one of the things I didn't get to earlier because, well, I don't know how to keep one single mind, whatever, is that the 2 conferences are separate this year, but in 2027, they're going to be combined, right, into one event. So this is kind of that transitional year. Again, everyone listen back to Alicia's episode where we talk about that and really how 2026 and our role as HETMA is really to help bridge that gap between 2 shows so that 27, where everything is brought together, there's one EdTech hall. And again, we'll have our presence back and being there with that. We can do that. So yes, we are going to be doing streaming between both. So if you're at one, you can see what's going on in the other. If you're at one, you can go back to the other. and live podcasting through it. So we might hop people on, hey, tell me about this, tell me about that, tell me about your experience. So we can be that kind of glue for the two shows. So wonderful answer, Dustin. That was great. Teddy, would you like a redo? Is there something else you can think about between the booth experience? Because Troy talked about the kegs, talked about, Dustin, the podcasting. Is there anything else you're looking forward to? This is the proper place to talk about swag.
Oh yeah, we would definitely have swag at both locations. So we are your one-stop shop for your higher ed swag, and to point you where you can possibly find other swag. But however, ISE is a little unlike Infocom. There's not near as much swag at other booths as you would think to find if you were coming to Infocom. So, but we got you covered if you're higher ed and you swing by the HETMA booth.
Great answer. That was well done. We are known for our swag. So we've got T-shirts, mugs, stickers, things. So come by at both booths. So we're going to have it at both. So come to one, come to the other. I teased on the episode, which, by the way, I think we need to do. How about special swag for people who go to both? I think, Troy, that was your idea last week, right? Is have special swag only if you can go to both. Maybe we have to get one of those little necklaces where it's like the heart, and one, so you only get one half of it.
Now we absolutely have to do that. I mean, come on.
You can only get half of it at each one, right? There we go. All right, Chris, I'm going to go to you since you're going to be our. I don't know. Did you come up with an official word? How did you get your press pass? What word got you a press pass?
I think I did producer. Producer was the magic word that got me in.
All right, but that actually is the correct one, because that is what you're going to be doing and helping out with, because we do so many episodes, we do so much recording, we do articles, we do write-ups of everything happening, and it's a lot. So talk about the media experience that you're expecting and kind of with all of that.
So for the sponsors that we've got signed up with us, we have them do some introductory questions so we can get some of the ideas coming into it. What are some things that they want people to focus on? What's going to make their booth stand out? What are the things that are special there that they want people to walk away with? So we get an idea of where to target some of our efforts with them. At the actual show, we also get time with them to individually sit down in our booth and do a special episode with them to give them some time to talk about their booth, what's going on there, what's new. Following that, we also have tour stops that we're having people come by and do tours. We're exploring the possibility of multiple language tours. I didn't hear if we got that finalized or not, but trying to make sure that we're getting to everyone's booth, getting all of their information out there, and really getting people the experience of being there without necessarily being there. So people that maybe aren't able to attend are able to hear from the sponsors, able to see some of the stuff that they've got coming out, and not miss out as much as they might if they were here. Then we also have our happy hours with sponsors that are coming and helping with those. And obviously we'll make presence known at all the after hours events, because HETMA has to make sure that we get our presence going with everyone, because no party's a party without the HETMA folks there.
That is true. 100%. We make the parties. I'm going to get to that part. I love that. Atkins, back to you. So exactly how much does it drive you to drink every time I charge the credit card with stuff that for putting together? We thought one booth was bad. Now that we have two. But no, I kind of want to talk about it from a treasurer point of view, not how much money it takes to do it, though it is significant. What does it mean, like, as an organization, right? I remember going back to this first. I'm going to find a question here. Don't worry, everybody. I've done this before. Is when we first did a booth at Infocom, then we thought, well, why would you want to do that? Right? I don't get why an end user organization would do a booth at Infocom. And then next thing you know, one of the most popular booths at Infocom, and we say is we don't sell anything, right? The only thing we sell is community and connection of our people, right? And we're not going to recoup money because we don't sell anything. It's just an expense to be there. So from your point of view, where is the ROI or kind of the value proposition of why we would even step out into the European market? We have a good thing going here. I'll leave it at that. but I can add more questions if that one didn't make sense.
Well, the sort of short answer that first comes to mind is the fact that there's either companies that are US based that are trying to expand into the world market, or there's companies overseas that are trying to expand into the US market. And so by us being a global org focused on education, we can help bi-directionally point people to a user base. So that's one of the big ROIs, I think, is we stand to help you reach a new audience that you might not otherwise get in front of. And then for our US based folks, I think it's really cool that, like Chris just laid out, if you were to kind of follow higher ed AV media throughout the week, you should end the week feeling like you were at ISE pretty much. And so the fact that we are supporting our partners and sponsors in that way, bringing the content to the people back home that don't get to travel across, I think there's a lot of value there too.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I think that really is why we want to do this, is bring the show to the people, right? Yes, it's good to be there and service the people who are there. And that is one side of it. That's the booth experience. But the media experience is just that. You know, we hear about it. It is a show of shows, right? And like you even started earlier in saying, you know, everything is announced at ISE. Well, we want to bring that to people. We want them so that someone who kind of hears about, oh, you know, I'm already starting to get some of the, you know, embargoed releases, right, of things that are going to come out. And we start to hear about it and go, okay, well, we're going to bring that to you so that you can reach out to your XYZ company rep and go, I saw this at Higher Ed AV. They said this is coming and this is perfect for education. Can you give me info? We might actually bring the info to our people before the reps here even know about it, right? Literally, and we've done that before. We've broken the news because we're there ahead of time. And we're breaking it when it releases on the show floor, right? And so I think that was great. You're welcome back to the show as well. That was a good answer. And then BC, this is the thing about having 7 guests. You go long on this stuff. BC, I'm going to kind of start to conclude with you. We're not doing a rapid round this year, but we can't talk about ISE without the city of Barcelona. That makes it La Rambla and the history. So again, for people coming, talk about the city, talk about the experience, talk about the after hours.
You know, Joe, I will say Barcelona is probably one of my favorite places to go to on earth. It's such a beautiful mix of an old city and a modern city. Like I know you touched on La Rambla, like you'll just be, you could get lost intentionally in La Rambla and still not see all of it. And it's kind of like it's an extremely interesting mix. And I love the fact that you can go from parts that were built in, you know, the 1600s, and then that you transition right into a part that was built, you know, after World War II. And it all just works together and flows. The people are friendly. The food is unmatched, I will say. And it just, you know, it's very relaxing. Like, even though it's such a large city and even La Rambla and the downtown areas can get so crowded, it just moves at a slower pace. So you can actually kind of take things in and enjoy your time walking around and getting out there amongst the Barcelona folks and just learning from them and meeting them and just enjoying, I guess, as the kids say, the vibe.
Yeah. And then I guess question for you then, where is it Japan, Barcelona, or the US? Where are the chicken nuggets the best?
Oh man, that's a good question.
If you have sauce.
Yes, you have sauce. I will say, I will say this. Japan and Barcelona kind of tie because they, you know, over here they cook it in like motor oil, I think. But but overseas it's undefeated over there.
So you're not repping Nashville hot chicken, huh? That's not.
It's a different thing, man. I'm afraid if we took Nashville hot chicken over there, they wouldn't be ready for that.
Wait, I want to know who has the best KFC.
Barcelona.
So if you and there's this little secret. If you're hungry at about 4:00, go over to the Aurora booth, Aurora Multimedia. Patty always has
Patty's always got KFC over there.
A hidden bucket of chicken underneath the counter. Okay, there's your pro move. If you're hungry, there you go. There is your pro move. All right. Atkins has a question here. In Joe Way form, Atkins is taking over the show. So he has a newbie question for the group. Go ahead. And by the way, we are now bringing Ryan Gray into the show. So
Hey.
because
All
he is
right.
fashionably late. And we're about to close up. But Atkins, the show is now
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah, thanks. No, just this is the question I thought any other first-time attenders might have as well. It's kind of been weighing on my mind. So if anyone feel free to jump in. But how much should I be studying up on my Spanish for communicating with, restaurants, transportation, that sort of thing? And then, road signs, finding navigation, all of that sort of stuff. Or is English pretty pervasive?
It's actually Catalan that you need
Catalan.
to
Catalan.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know, and that's part of the problem too, is that, Tex-Mex down here, it's a little different. Doesn't exactly translate. So
No,
As long as you can say "Yo quiero Taco Bell," you're fine.
Do not say that. And do not call your waiter essay either.
no. Don't do any of that. Don't even do, now. Don't.
I remember more than one cab driver last year getting mad at Joe for trying to speak Spanish. You speak English.
Troy, to be fair, that's a universal HETMA trend for cab drivers to get mad at Joe for trying to.
Well, we had the one cab driver who didn't speak any English. The only thing I could figure out was he was trying to kick us out of the car.
Yeah. I mean, I think the answer is everybody speaks English. So and everything is in English, so you won't have to. But there is a being nice to people, right? And the good thing is the word sangria in Spanish is sangria. Okay, so there you go. The word paella in Spanish is paella. So you already know the two things you need to know. Ryan Gray, now that we're closing out the show, please introduce yourself, tell people who you are. And the first question is, what are you looking forward to at ISE? And what is your role while we're there?
All right. Well, so I feel like you should have just ignored me. I was just like, oh, if they're still on, I'll listen to the end of the show myself. So sorry about that. My name's Ryan Gray. I'm pumped to go. What am I looking forward to? This will be my third, and I'm really looking forward to, I'm sure you guys have covered this, of being in more than one location and there being such this other event with so many EdTech people is like a fertile ground for meeting new people who do cool work and expanding out. Like that's like my wheelhouse of excitement. And of course, I think the other thing is getting content about kind of what is going on, what offerings there are, and things like that up to Hired AV in real time for people in the States that can't go. So you have the chance to kind of see the things we're seeing, know the things we're knowing, and bring that information back. So
yeah. That was a great answer. It's actually very much exactly what Aaron Atkins and Chris already said. So good answer there. We really didn't need it. I didn't need to actually bring you in.
Where a real host would probably not call on somebody who shows up at the very end, maybe, or.
Yeah, well, are you calling me a real host? I'm not a real host.
I know.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Come on now. I made it. I made it this far. So okay.
No,
I just wing it here. All right. That being said,
my apologies, but thank you.
Do go to hiredav.com/ISE 2026, and you can click. That'll take you to our ISE page. We do have discount passes, so the EdTech Congress does have a charge, but we have passes for people. So if you click the link, you can get in for free. Also, we have show floor passes for the ISE show. Next, ise.nextnow.com to get into that. So I encourage everyone, go there. Our social events, meet up with us. I highly encourage you. If you're not going to ISE, follow the news. We're bringing it to you. We're bringing it to you in real time. And if you are going, make sure you connect with us at both booths. That's the EdTech Congress booth T204 and then the ISE show floor 2W400. Make sure you connect with it. And of course, all of our events, the show floors, tours, our happy hours, all of that. And make sure we also put on our website all of our partner events, everything, the different after hours things, the different summits and all of that. So you can curate your experience. So thank you to the crew going out there. We have got a great one. This was great. We'll see everybody at ISE 2026 in just a couple weeks.